There's a technology that can cool your whole house, cut your energy bill, and grow your own food. And it's probably sitting right above your head doing nothing. It's called a green roof, and I'll show you exactly how to build one yourself. Here's the thing, most people think a green roof means ripping off your whole roof and spending $20,000, $30,000 on a professional installation. That's true if you hire a company, but there's a version of this that costs a fraction of that, uses materials you can find at any hardware store, and I'm going to show you the exact layer-by-layer system near the middle of this video. But first, you need to understand why your current roof is quietly working against you. A few summers ago, my top floor felt like an oven by 2 in the afternoon, and it barely cooled down before sunset. The air conditioner ran non-stop, and the electric bill kept climbing every month, no matter what I tried. I tried reflective paint, extra attic insulation, even blackout curtains on every window. Nothing really solved it. Then, scrolling through photos one night, I came across a rooftop in Germany, completely covered in low-growing plants, sitting on top of an ordinary apartment building. Nothing fancy about it. The owner said their indoor temperature dropped by several degrees in summer, and their roof lasted twice as long because it wasn't exposed to direct sun and rain damage anymore. That's when I started researching how living roofs really work and realized this wasn't some expensive architectural fantasy. It was something a regular homeowner with a regular budget could actually build. Here's the real problem. A standard roof is basically a giant black or gray surface that sits there all day, absorbing heat like a skillet left on a stove, then radiating that heat into your home well into the evening. In cities, thousands of roofs like this create what's called the urban heat island effect. Entire neighborhoods running several degrees hotter than nearby green areas simply because of all that exposed, heat-absorbing material stacked block after block. It's not only about temperature either. Regular roofing materials break down faster under direct UV exposure and constant temperature swings, which means more frequent repairs and full replacements over the years. Rainwater runs straight off, too, overwhelming storm drains instead of being absorbed naturally the way soil and plants would handle it. Your roof, in other words, is doing the exact opposite of what nature would do in that same space. All of that adds up to real money quietly leaving your pocket month after month. Higher cooling costs every summer, sometimes noticeably higher during heat waves. A roof membrane that wears out years earlier than it should, meaning an expensive replacement creeps up faster than you'd expect. And if you live somewhere with heavy rain, poor drainage around your foundation from all that runoff water, which can lead to its own set of problems over time. None of this is dramatic on its own. There's no single moment where it feels urgent. It's slow, it's quiet, and that's exactly why most people never fix it. It just becomes part of the monthly bill they've stopped even noticing. This is where a green roof changes the equation completely. Instead of a bare surface absorbing heat all day, you have a living layer of plants and soil that genuinely cools the building underneath it. EPA research shows surface temperatures can drop by over 30 degrees Fahrenheit compared to a standard roof on a hot summer afternoon. That soil and plant layer also acts as extra insulation, so your air conditioner works less in summer and your heater works less in winter, which means lower bills in both directions, not just one. Now, there are two main types you'll come across. A full, intensive green roof is basically a rooftop garden. Heavy, deep soil, sometimes even small trees and walking paths. That version does need serious professional structural work, and it's not something most homeowners take on themselves. But an extensive green roof, the kind we're focused on today, uses a thin, lightweight soil layer with hardy, low-maintenance plants like sedum, which barely need any watering once they're established. It's the version most homes can realistically support without major renovations, and it's the one you can plan, source materials for, and install yourself over a weekend without renting specialized equipment or hiring a crew. Let's break down exactly what goes into a DIY extensive green roof, layer by layer, so you know precisely what you're working with. First, waterproofing. This is non-negotiable. You need a fully sealed, root-resistant waterproof membrane installed directly on your existing roof deck, with no gaps, no weak seams, nothing left to chance. Skip this step and everything else built on top of it eventually fails. Second, a drainage layer. This is usually a lightweight plastic or foam panel with small cups or channels molded into it, letting excess water flow away freely instead of pooling on your roof after every rainfall. Third, a filter fabric that sits directly on top of the drainage layer. This stops fine soil particles from washing down over time and clogging the drainage system underneath, which would defeat the whole purpose of that layer. Fourth, your growing medium. This isn't regular garden soil from a bag. It's a lightweight, engineered green roof soil mix, usually only 2 to 4 inches deep, specifically designed to hold moisture without becoming dangerously heavy once it's fully saturated with rain. And finally, the plants themselves. Sedum varieties are the standard choice here because they're drought-tolerant, low-growing, and survive with almost no maintenance once they're established in that shallow soil layer. Most of these materials are easy to find at larger home improvement stores or through green roofing suppliers online, and a small shed or garage roof is the easiest place to practice this whole process for the first time. Before you install any of this, always check with a structural engineer or your local building department about exactly how much extra weight your specific roof can hold safely. This single step, more than any other, protects you from the most expensive mistake on this entire list. Now, 5 mistakes that ruin most DIY green roofs before they even get a full season of growth. 1. Skipping the structural check, which can lead to real, expensive roof damage once the soil gets fully soaked with rain and adds far more weight than expected. 2. Using regular garden soil instead of a proper, lightweight green roof mix, which gets heavy fast and drains poorly, choking the plant roots. 3. Forgetting the drainage layer entirely, which causes water to pool for days and eventually leak straight into your home. 4. Choosing plants that need regular watering and attention, when the whole point of an extensive green roof is low maintenance with almost no upkeep. And 5. Ignoring your local climate completely. What thrives on a rooftop in a humid coastal city won't necessarily survive a dry, high-altitude summer or a hard winter freeze. Get the plant selection wrong and you'll be replanting the whole thing every single year. Here's something most people don't know. Cities like San Francisco and Copenhagen require green roofs or living roofs on new buildings by law, specifically because of how much they reduce citywide temperatures and stormwater runoff. Research on vegetated roofs shows they can retain well over half the rain that falls on them, releasing the rest slowly instead of all at once. On a city scale, that means less flooding, less strain on sewer systems, and noticeably cooler streets in summer. On a personal scale, done right, that same roof can last significantly longer than a standard one because it's no longer exposed to direct sun, ice, and constant temperature swings. Remember that curiosity gap from the beginning? Here's the full picture. A DIY extensive green roof, using basic materials and doing the labor yourself, typically costs a fraction of a professional installation, sometimes low hundreds of dollars for a small structure like a shed or garage, scaling up depending on size. It's not free and it's not a weekend for everyone, but it's realistic. And what you get back is a cooler home, a longer lasting roof, lower energy bills, and in many designs, even a small space to grow your own herbs or vegetables. That's the technology I mentioned at the start, sitting quietly above your head, waiting to be used. If you want the exact materials list, the full cost breakdown, and a plant guide matched to your specific climate zone, I've put together a complete playlist covering every part of green roofing, from waterproofing all the way through plant selection and long-term maintenance. The link is right here on screen and in the description below. Watch the full green roof playlist, and I'll see you in the next one.